Archangel Michael says, the atmosphere around you is trembling with urgency, and heaven itself is pressing this moment into your life. A voice greater than thunder yet softer than love is calling you, and it cannot be ignored. What is about to unfold will mark the turning point that shifts everything you have known into something far greater and more serious than you can imagine. This is not a warning to be taken lightly, for heaven has aligned this very second to deliver truth into your hands. Behind the scenes, unseen battles have been raging, and tonight the outcome comes closer than ever before. Jesus himself is begging you not to close your heart at this time, for the change that is about to fall upon you will shake the very ground of your existence. The room around you may appear still, but in the unseen realm, a storm of divine movement swirls with unstoppable force. This is your moment, your hour, your divine call that heaven has pushed forward so you may no longer remain the same. A massive change is not only approaching, it has already begun to ripple through your destiny. You may sense the air becoming heavier, the silence around you charged with something beyond human understanding. That is no coincidence, it is the pressure of glory pushing into your atmosphere. To ignore this message is to step away from the very help you have cried out for. Type Amen to get blessing 333. The choice placed before you now is unlike any you've faced before, for it carries the weight of eternity. Every struggle you endured, every tear you cried, has been woven together for this revelation. Do not mistake this as ordinary, it is divine intervention entering into your life. Jesus pleads with you, not because he is weak, but because his love for you burns with such intensity that he cannot let you pass this moment by. This is the urgency of heaven's plan, where mercy and truth collide at your doorstep. Your life is standing on the edge of transformation that will echo for generations to come. Do not underestimate what your spirit is sensing right now, because the vibrations are not from fear, but from divine awakening. You are being drawn into a moment that has been marked long before your birth, a moment written in the scrolls of heaven. If you ignore this, the help you seek may never again return in this way. This is not just about you, it stretches into the lives connected to yours, those who depend on your yes, those who will either rise or fall based on your decision. Heaven has invested too much into you to let you miss this. But the seriousness of this moment means the window is not wide, it is now or never. Type Amen to get blessing 444. The clock of heaven ticks louder than ever, urging you into alignment with divine order. You may not see the hands of the clock, but its sound echoes deep within your soul, warning that time is collapsing into a single opportunity. Everything you thought was delayed is rushing toward you, demanding your attention right now. Archangel Michael says, your life has been stalked by shadows, but the light is about to break them in a way you've never witnessed. The sword of heaven has been unsheathed to cut down the obstacles standing before you. Yet, this breakthrough requires your heart to be open, not hardened, to receive the very thing you've long prayed for. The begging of Jesus is not desperation, it is love in its most radical form. He sees the traps waiting for you, the betrayals planned, the financial storms lurking ahead. To reject his plea would be to walk willingly into ruin, but to embrace it means walking into abundance, healing, and restoration. This is why the atmosphere is heavy right now. It is heaven's weight pressing against your resistance. You have been chosen, and chosen people do not walk casually into destiny, they walk with trembling, knowing the seriousness of what has been placed before them. Type Amen to get blessing 555. Every loss you suffered, every night you felt abandoned, was preparing you for this extraordinary hour. Your pain has not been wasted, it is now the foundation for the glory that will replace it. Heaven is ready to exchange your sorrow for overflowing joy. Do not turn away from this message, because it carries within it the exact moment of turnaround you've waited for. The voices of angels have risen in chorus to deliver this revelation, and their sound will not stop until you align with it. You cannot afford to treat this as ordinary, it is extraordinary in every sense. The massive change that approaches is not gentle, it is sudden, like fire breaking chains. You will wake to a reality you could never have engineered on your own. But only if you obey the urgency and refuse to close your heart. There is a seriousness hovering over you now, an urgency that demands full surrender. Heaven has already begun moving people, shifting places, and rearranging circumstances for your favor. Your next step will decide whether you walk into this miracle or watch it vanish forever. Type Amen to get blessing 666. The storm in the Spirit has already been released, and its winds are rushing toward your life with unstoppable force. You may feel the pressure in your chest, the urgency in your thoughts, the trembling in your soul. This is no ordinary stirring. It is the call of heaven demanding your immediate response. The scales of destiny are tipping, and every moment you hesitate pushes you closer to losing the blessing prepared for you. God is not speaking for tomorrow, He is speaking for now, this very breath, this exact heartbeat. Your obedience in this instant will unlock doors you never dreamed could be yours. Archangel Michael says, "The forces of light are fighting harder than ever to protect your path, but they can only fight if you choose to align." Darkness has made its move, but heaven is already one step ahead, sending this urgent message to shield you. Do not ignore it, for if you do, heaven's intervention will pass and silence will return. Your atmosphere is not random. It has shifted because eternity has collided with your life tonight. Angels are standing at attention, waiting for your decision. Will you step into the promise, or let it vanish into nothingness? Type Amen to get blessing 777. The seriousness of this hour cannot be overstated, for this is not about a minor change but a complete transformation. Everything familiar will be shaken, and everything broken will be restored, but only if you receive the word. You are standing at the doorway of a miracle too large to comprehend. Jesus is not begging because He is weak. He is begging because He loves you too much to see you miss this. His voice is filled with tears, His hand stretched toward you, His presence closer than your very breath. The refusal of this call would close heaven's hand, but your acceptance would unleash favor beyond measure. You have cried out for change, for answers, for rescue, and heaven has listened. But now, heaven demands your yes in return. This is your moment, and if you treat it as common, you will never recover what was meant to be released. The seriousness is not meant to frighten you but to awaken you. A destiny this large cannot arrive without shaking your soul to its core. Heaven has chosen you for something far too significant to ignore. Type Amen to get blessing 888. All around you, the unseen world is moving, the sound of angel wings, the clash of swords in the heavens, the breaking of chains in the Spirit. This is why your heart feels heavy, why your mind feels stirred. Because the unseen realm is pressing into the scene. The moment has already begun, and your agreement will seal it. You are not hearing this by mistake, not encountering this message by coincidence. It was sent by divine alignment, written into your story before time began. To reject it would unravel the very rescue you've cried for in your darkest hours. This message is dripping with urgency because the timing is precise. If you delay, the window will close, and what was meant for you will fall into other hands. But if you act now, the inheritance, the blessing, the freedom, will all flow into your life like a flood. Archangel Michael says, your destiny is being pulled out of the shadows into the light, but only if you embrace this call. The angels cannot move forward until your heart opens. This is the seriousness of the hour, your response determines the future. Type Amen to get blessing 999. The silence around you is not empty. It is heavy with a presence that is waiting for your decision. You can almost feel the atmosphere breathing, as if creation itself is pausing to witness what you will choose. This is not imagination, it is the pull of eternity pressing against the thin veil of your reality. Every step you have taken in life has led to this crossroad, where your past collides with your future. The mistakes, the victories, the losses, all of them have prepared you for this exact hour. And heaven is declaring that if you receive this message, you will not only survive, you will rise beyond every expectation. The air is trembling because something larger than life is bending itself into your story. You may sense pressure, restlessness, or even tears building, because your spirit already knows what your mind is still trying to grasp. Change this massive does not come quietly. It announces itself with a force that cannot be denied. Do not ignore this seriousness, for it was not written to entertain but to awaken. You are being entrusted with a gift that many prayed for but never lived to see. The window is small, the urgency is great, and your response is the key. Type Amen to get blessing 111. You have felt overlooked, rejected, and forgotten, but heaven never forgot you. Jesus has been watching every sleepless night, every unanswered prayer, and he could not allow another day to pass without intervening. This is why he begs, not from weakness, but from unstoppable love. Heaven's hand is stretched toward you, and if you receive it, everything in your life will realign. Relationships will be restored, finances will be reversed, health will be renewed. But if you turn away, the silence will return, and the door will close. Archangel Michael says, the enemy thought he had victory over your path, but he underestimated the power of heaven's timing. The traps set for you are already being dismantled, the lies spoken against you already breaking apart. Yet your agreement is needed to release the final strike. The seriousness of this hour is that nothing will remain the same after this moment. If you step into alignment, your life will never again resemble the brokenness of yesterday. A flood of blessing is waiting at the threshold of your obedience. Type Amen to get blessing 222. Heaven is watching you right now, not in judgment but in anticipation. Angels are leaning over, waiting to see if you will receive what has been sent. This is your chance to step into divine history, to embrace a transformation written before the foundation of the world. Do not mistake the delay of past seasons as denial, this was always the appointed time. The urgency now is because the moment has ripened, the fruit of destiny ready to fall into your hands. Heaven could wait no longer, which is why Jesus comes with pleading on his lips. Your life has been stalked by storms, but storms are often the sign that new territory is being unlocked. The pressure you have felt was not to destroy you but to push you closer to this exact message. The very breaking you endured was preparation for this breakthrough. This message is your turning point. If you grasp it with your whole heart, the massive change will sweep into your life with a speed you cannot comprehend. The blessing will not trickle, it will pour. Type Amen to get blessing 333. The heavens are thundering in silence above your life, and though your eyes cannot see it, your spirit is already trembling. This is the weight of divine urgency, pressing you into a corner where hesitation can no longer exist. It is now or never, and heaven is not whispering, it is roaring with seriousness. The energy you feel in this moment is the shifting of realms, the cracking open of gates that were once locked against you. Every delay, every barrier, every rejection is collapsing under the sound of heaven's decree. You are standing in the middle of a divine collision where everything broken is about to be rebuilt. The begging voice of Jesus echoes like thunder, not because he lacks power, but because his love demands your attention. He has walked with you through pain you thought no one saw, and now he refuses to let you miss what has been prepared. This is mercy in its rawest, most urgent form. Do not dare to dismiss this as another message, it is the key that unlocks the vault of your future. Heaven's calendar has circled this day with fire, marking it as the day when destiny bends toward you. To ignore it is to close the very door you've been waiting on. Type Amen to get blessing 444. Archangel Michael says, your name has been called in the courts of heaven, and verdicts are shifting in your favor. What was meant to crush you is being overturned, what was meant to silence you is being broken. But your agreement, your surrender, is the final signature required to seal this breakthrough. There are forces you cannot see that tremble when you align with this truth. They have fought to delay you, to blind you, to distract you, because they knew the weight of what you carry. But tonight, their grip is slipping, and your freedom is pressing through. The seriousness of this moment is that angels are stationed around you, waiting for the command to act. Their swords are drawn, their wings stretched, and yet they wait for one thing, your yes. The battle is won, but the victory requires your alignment. This is not simply about your life, it is about every soul connected to your destiny. The breakthrough waiting for you will spill over into your family, your bloodline, and generations yet to be born. That is why the urgency is greater than ever before. Type Amen to get blessing 555. You may feel restless, unable to sit still, because your spirit is in labor with what heaven is birthing. Do not resist this weight, it is a sign that the shift has already begun. The fire you feel is not destruction, it is purification, burning away what no longer serves your future. The begging of Jesus is filled with mercy that cannot be explained. He sees the danger waiting for you if you do not respond, the closed doors that will never open again, the opportunities that will fade into silence. But he also sees the glory waiting if you say yes. Heaven's help is conditional on your decision in this very moment. If you ignore it, you will walk alone, but if you receive it, you will never again walk without divine covering. The choice is urgent, and it is yours. Every second is charged with destiny, every breath heavy with possibility. The angels are waiting, the heavens are waiting, and your own soul is waiting. To respond is to unlock freedom, to ignore is to embrace loss. Type Amen to get blessing 666. This moment carries the kind of seriousness that bends reality itself. You are not just reading words, you are standing in the courtroom of heaven where your future is being decided. The weight of eternity leans heavily upon your next step. You have been prepared for this, even in ways you did not understand. The storms you thought were meant to kill you were secretly training you for this very decision. What once looked like chaos was actually the shaping of destiny. The massive change that is promised will not be slow, it will erupt suddenly. One moment you will be surrounded by impossibility, and the next moment you will be drenched in divine favor. That is the nature of heaven's intervention. It comes like fire, like lightning, impossible to stop. The begging of heaven is not weakness, it is urgency. It is love refusing to watch you collapse. It is the voice of eternity saying, "Do not ignore this, for the window is narrow, and once it closes, it will not return the same way again." Type Amen to get blessing 777. The walls around you feel thinner tonight, as if the unseen is pressing through with a force you cannot ignore. Every breath you take is charged with a weight that goes beyond the natural world. Heaven is leaning close, and the sound of eternity is knocking louder and louder. This is not a dream, not imagination, but the trembling of destiny at your doorstep. You may have wondered why your heart feels heavy, why your chest feels tight, because the seriousness of this hour is beyond comprehension. What is unfolding now has been hidden in the secret chambers of heaven until this very moment. Jesus is not speaking casually, he is pleading with urgency that shakes even the angelic realm. His words echo like fire through the heavens, "Do not ignore this." To turn away now is to shut yourself off from the very miracle you have been crying out for in silence. The atmosphere of your life is being rewritten line by line, and every broken chapter is being turned into a page of glory. But this glory demands your recognition, your surrender, your immediate yes. You are standing in the center of a divine contract, and it must be signed with your obedience. Type Amen to get blessing 888. Archangel Michael says, "Your name has been marked with divine fire, and the enemy has no claim to it any longer." The battles you thought were endless are being dismantled in the courts of heaven even now. Chains that bound your family for generations are being shattered with a single strike of heavenly power. The begging voice of Jesus carries both warning and promise. If you ignore, the weight will turn to silence, and heaven will step back. But if you respond, the floodgates of abundance, protection, and victory will swing wide open in an instant. Do not think this is distant, it is already unfolding in your life at this very second. That is why your spirit feels shaken, your soul unsettled, because the breakthrough is colliding with your present reality. To deny it is to miss it, but to embrace it is to step into unimaginable change. The seriousness of this moment is written in fire across the unseen sky. Do not look away, do not turn cold, for the hand of heaven will not remain stretched forever. This is your chance, and it is now. Type Amen to get blessing 999. The fire of heaven is moving swiftly, and it will not stop until it either consumes or transforms. Your decision will determine which side of the fire you stand on. This is the power of free will placed in your hands, wrapped in the seriousness of eternity. Jesus is closer than your shadow right now, his voice breaking through every wall you have built. He is begging because he sees what you cannot see, the traps hidden just ahead, the betrayals forming in secret places. Without this message, you would walk straight into disaster. But with this message, you will walk straight into glory. Every closed door will burst open, every hidden blessing will appear, and every chain will fall powerless to the ground. Heaven has already prepared the way, it only waits for you to step forward. The urgency you feel is not fear. It is destiny demanding your response. You have been chosen for this hour, and the weight of heaven proves it. To hesitate is to lose, but to respond is to reign. Type Amen to get blessing 1111. The angels surrounding you tonight are not standing idly, they are leaning forward, watching, waiting. They have been assigned to your life, but they cannot move without your agreement. Their power is ready, their wings stretched, but your yes is the key. Archangel Michael says, the enemy has run out of strategies against you, and that is why he has tried to blind you from hearing this truth. But now, heaven has cut through the darkness and delivered it to your hands. The last lie will be silenced if you embrace this word. This moment is so serious that heaven itself has bent time to make sure you hear it. Delay will cost more than you can afford, but obedience will reward more than you can imagine. That is why the begging voice of Jesus will not be silenced until you decide. The massive change waiting for you is closer than your next breath. It will not creep in slowly, it will arrive with force, with fire, with sudden breakthrough. The time is now, and the choice is yours. Type Amen to get blessing 1212. The air is no longer ordinary, it is alive, heavy, vibrating with something holy pressing against you. You feel it in your bones, in the weight of your heart, as though unseen hands are pulling you toward a choice you cannot avoid. This is heaven's hour, and it is not waiting. Every delay you faced was only a shadow keeping you from this precise moment. What is unfolding now was written before your first breath, and the script has finally reached your part. You cannot walk away without consequence, for this is the line between breakthrough and collapse. Jesus is speaking with urgency that pierces deeper than any human voice. His plea is not casual, it is desperate love, begging you not to let this moment slip into silence. He sees the storm waiting to swallow you if you ignore his call, but he also sees the glory waiting to crown you if you embrace it. The seriousness of this moment is not a warning to frighten you but a call to awaken you. The light of heaven is breaking through cracks in your reality, and what comes next depends entirely on your response. Do not let hesitation rob you of what was prepared. Type Amen to get blessing 1313. Archangel Michael says, the angelic armies are already stationed on your behalf, their swords drawn, their eyes fixed on your life. They have been commanded to act, but they cannot move until you align. The battlefield is waiting for your yes. The begging of Jesus carries both the sound of mercy and the sound of command. It is the voice of heaven saying, you cannot walk blind anymore, you cannot turn away. This is the last call before the final shift. The weight pressing down on your soul right now is not a burden but a sign. It is heaven leaning on you, urging you not to resist. The change that comes will not only rescue you but will also ripple through your family, healing wounds you thought could never close. This is why the urgency feels unbearable, because the blessing tied to this moment is greater than anything you have carried before. A single yes will unlock doors you thought were permanently sealed. Type Amen to get blessing 1414. The heavens are roaring with anticipation, watching closely as your spirit leans toward decision. Do not underestimate the seriousness of this, for your obedience here will echo into generations. The chains you break today will never again touch your children or your children's children. Jesus is begging not because he doubts, but because he knows what is at stake. He knows the weight of your pain, the tears you never let anyone see, the nights you cried into silence. And he refuses to let all of that suffering end in emptiness. The massive change that comes now will flip your life upside down, in the best way possible. Where there was lack, there will be abundance. Where there was rejection, there will be acceptance. Where there was sorrow, there will be joy unspeakable. But only if you heed this moment. The pleading of heaven is the greatest proof of love you will ever know. To ignore it is to turn from love itself, but to receive it is to be swallowed in mercy beyond understanding. The choice burns before you. Type Amen to get blessing 1515. The shadows that stalked your life are trembling tonight, because they know their grip is slipping. You can feel it in the trembling of your spirit, the way your soul shakes as though it already senses victory. Do not silence that feeling. It is confirmation that heaven is near. The seriousness of this hour is marked by how unusual it feels. The heaviness in your chest, the tingling in your hands, the way time itself seems slower. It is all heaven pulling you into the reality of change. Do not resist the pull. Archangel Michael says, "You are closer than ever to the door that unlocks everything. But you must open it, you must step through it, or it will remain shut forever." Heaven will not force you, but it will beg you because of love. The voice of Jesus is pleading because he sees what you cannot see. He sees the blessing lined up for you, waiting just beyond this choice. He also sees the darkness plotting if you turn away. Type Amen to get blessing 1616. The shadows around you are trembling because the light of heaven is breaking through with unstoppable force. You can feel it in the air, as though something unseen is watching, pressing, waiting for your choice. The seriousness of this hour cannot be denied, it is the sound of destiny demanding your response. Every barrier that held you down is groaning under the weight of heaven's decree. The chains are loosening, the doors are shaking, the locks are splitting open. But none of it will fall completely until you decide to step into what has been prepared for you. Jesus is not whispering, he is begging, pleading, crying out for you to hear. His love burns so deeply that he cannot sit silent while you risk losing the promise that has been waiting all along. His tears are not weakness, they are urgency wrapped in mercy. The change that is about to overtake you will come suddenly. One moment everything will look impossible, and the next moment, everything will bow to the hand of God moving on your behalf. But the seriousness is this: if you ignore the call, that miracle will vanish into silence. Type Amen to get blessing 1717. Archangel Michael says, the angels are standing with fire in their eyes, ready to strike down what has been attacking you. They are holding back the darkness that has stalked your life for years. But they cannot move fully until your heart agrees with heaven. This is why you feel restless, heavy, stirred in your soul. Your spirit is already aware of the battle raging over your destiny. The begging voice of Jesus is pulling you out of danger before it is too late. Do not underestimate what is happening right now. It is not ordinary emotion, it is heaven shaking you awake, pulling you into a choice that carries eternal weight. Everything in your life is about to change, and this moment is the doorway. The seriousness of this hour is so great that even time feels like it is bending. Heaven has paused everything to put this message into your hands. That is how important you are, that is how serious this moment is. Type Amen to get blessing 1818. The fire of heaven is sweeping through your atmosphere even now. You may feel it in your body, your heart racing, your spirit trembling. It is proof that the unseen is moving. Do not ignore it, for it is the sign you have been waiting for. Jesus begs because he sees the unseen traps laid ahead. He knows the pain that would follow if you turn away. But he also sees the unimaginable blessing that will break loose if you say yes. The change that will come will not only touch your life but will overflow into the lives around you. Your family, your future, even your bloodline will feel the ripples of this breakthrough. This is bigger than you, it is generational. The seriousness of this hour is not an exaggeration, it is truth. To resist it is to resist the hand of heaven, but to receive it is to unlock the inheritance that has always been yours. The choice is burning before you. Type Amen to get blessing 1919. Do you see how the atmosphere around you feels alive right now? That is because heaven is breathing into your space, releasing power that is waiting for your response. The begging voice of Jesus will not let you walk away without knowing how urgent this is. Archangel Michael says, the enemy's final attempt against you is crumbling even now. The power that once stood in your way is falling to the ground like dust. But the victory is not sealed until you open your heart. This moment is not casual, it is the single turning point of your life. To ignore it is to close your eyes to the very help you cried for when no one else was listening. To embrace it is to watch your tears turn into treasures. The seriousness is greater than anything you have known, but so is the blessing. The flood that is coming will drown every sorrow, wash away every loss, and carry you into joy unshakable. This is the promise, but it requires your yes. Type Amen to get blessing 2020. The ground beneath your spirit is shaking because heaven is rearranging everything connected to you. The weight you feel in your chest is not fear, it is the hand of God pressing closer than ever before. You are standing on the edge of something so massive that words barely capture it. Every tear you have cried, every sleepless night, every unanswered prayer has been collected in heaven's chambers. None of it has been ignored, none of it has been wasted. All of it was preparing you for this single moment where everything shifts. Jesus is begging because he sees what is hidden beyond the veil of tomorrow. He knows the storms being prepared against you, but he also knows the flood of blessing waiting to silence them. His plea is not desperation, it is love refusing to let you miss what has already been written for you. The seriousness of this hour is terrifying in its beauty. You cannot look away, you cannot pretend it is nothing. Your entire life is standing on this turning point, and the heavens will not let you remain the same after tonight. Type Amen to get blessing 2121. Archangel Michael says, the enemies that laughed at your downfall are about to witness your rise. They will see doors open for you that no one can close, blessings released that no one can block. But only if you obey the urgency written into this moment. The begging voice of Jesus is soaked in mercy, but it carries a warning too: delay will cost you more than you realize. To walk away now is to lose the very things you have been fighting for all along. The decision you make right now will echo into eternity. Do not treat this lightly, for heaven is serious about you. Angels are standing at attention, waiting for your yes. The moment you respond, they will move faster than lightning to secure your destiny. Your breakthrough is so close that the enemy has been trembling. He knows that if you align, his grip on your life will be broken forever. That is why heaven is begging you not to hesitate. Type Amen to get blessing 2222. The fire of change is already burning. You may feel waves of emotion rising, tears building, chills running down your body. These are signs that heaven is pressing into your atmosphere. The change has already begun. Jesus begs because he knows the pain of delay. He has seen others walk away from moments like this and fall into regret they could never escape. He refuses to let you be one of them, which is why he is pulling on your heart so fiercely right now. The seriousness of this message is greater than anything you have heard before. It carries not just comfort but command, not just promise but demand. Your yes will unlock blessings for you and for those tied to your destiny. The massive change that is promised will not just be a shift, it will be an explosion of miracles. It will touch your health, your finances, your relationships, and your soul. But only if you surrender in this very moment. Type Amen to get blessing 2323. The heavens are roaring with anticipation because the time has finally come. Angels who have watched over you since birth are leaning close, waiting to see if you will embrace what has been sent. This moment is written in eternity, and it will not return the same way again. Archangel Michael says, "The darkness that fought you for years is at its weakest point. One final decision from you will break it completely. Do not hesitate, for the enemy hopes you will delay long enough to lose it all." The begging of Jesus is proof of how much is at stake. His voice is calling you with a mixture of warning and love, pleading for your surrender so that he can release what is already in his hands. If you turn away, it will remain locked, but if you embrace it, the flood will pour out. The seriousness of this moment cannot be overstated, it is heaven's last call before the shift. The window is narrow, but the blessing is immeasurable. Your obedience will decide everything. Type Amen to get blessing 2424. The night around you feels charged, like the very walls are listening for your answer. This is not coincidence, this is the collision of time and eternity. Everything you thought was delayed has been rushing toward this one point in your life, and now it stands before you. The weight you feel is proof that the unseen realm is open. Heaven is closer than your own breath, and angels are standing still, waiting for your choice. The begging voice of Jesus is shaking through the silence, not because he is weak, but because he refuses to let you fall into the trap set against you. This is the hour where the seriousness of heaven outweighs every distraction. You may have ignored other moments, but this is different. This is the very turning point that separates loss from breakthrough, defeat from victory, sorrow from joy. Jesus is begging because the change waiting to erupt is massive, too massive to be missed. If you open your heart, the floodgates will burst, and your life will never again look the same. But if you turn away, the silence that follows will be devastating. Type Amen to get blessing 2525. Archangel Michael says, "Your destiny has been fought in unseen places for too long, but heaven is now tipping the scales in your favor. The battle is almost over, but it requires your response to finish it. Heaven's armies are waiting for the signal. You are not standing here by chance, you are here because this was always part of the plan. Every delay, every detour, every disappointment has led you here. Now, all of it comes together in this urgent call. The seriousness you feel is not imagination, it is the vibration of eternity pressing on your spirit. It is the pull of heaven making sure you cannot walk away blind. That is why your heart feels heavy, why your thoughts will not rest. This is not an ordinary word, it is the very lifeline you asked for. Heaven has heard you, and this message is the proof. To ignore it is to reject the help you have been crying for. Type Amen to get blessing 2626. The fire of breakthrough is so close that you can almost taste it. The atmosphere around you is shifting, doors are unlocking, chains are breaking, even if you cannot see it yet. The begging voice of Jesus is urging you to take hold before it passes. You have asked why your life has felt like constant warfare, why peace has been so far away. It is because your destiny is so heavy that the enemy fought to keep you from this exact moment. But now, the fight is ending, and victory is waiting. The seriousness is so real that even creation is groaning for your decision. The angels cannot move without it, the blessings cannot release without it, and the victory cannot manifest without it. Everything is waiting for your yes. This is your appointed time, chosen before the foundation of the world. It will not repeat in this form, and it will not wait much longer. Heaven has begged you because heaven loves you. Type Amen to get blessing 2727. Jesus is closer than ever, standing at the door of your heart. His voice is filled with love, urgency, and warning all at once. He cannot stay silent because he sees both the danger and the promise before you. The seriousness of this moment is like fire burning in your atmosphere. It will not allow you to stay lukewarm, it demands a choice. Every second is pressing harder, every heartbeat echoing louder. Archangel Michael says, the enemy's final attempt to blind you is crumbling. The veil is lifting, and the truth is here. But the last decision must come from you. If you surrender, the massive change will be released instantly. If you resist, the silence will be deafening, and the opportunity will vanish into the shadows. The urgency is final, and the call is now. Type Amen to get blessing 2828.